Interesting article that came up on Gateway Pundit, written by Christina Laila, Laila, published on the 24th of July. Title: Wow! Wray, that would be Christopher Wray, says there were at least two instances where FBI officials expressed disappointment that Trump survived assassination attempt. You can't make this stuff up. And are we supposed to believe that Trump would-be assassin Thomas Cook acted alone? Question mark. FBI Director Christopher Wray appeared before the House Judiciary Committee on the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. On July 13, President Trump was grazed in the ear after a 20-year-old gunman named Thomas Matthew Crooks climbed on a roof and took several shots at Trump and rally-goers in Butler. I think that Thomas Matthew Crooks was an absolute patsy. And he's dead. Dead people tell no tales. Let's listen to this clip here.
Take a look at what happened.
Move it spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to spare.
Spare, get ready.
You ready? Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
Clear.
Let's move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on. Let me get my shoe.
You have to ask yourself a couple of questions here. Why was Trump down for as long as he was down? And what were they doing to him? Was there a makeup artist working on him? I don't know, folks. But he was down for a pretty long time. And you'd think they'd want to get him up a whole lot sooner and get him the hell out of there. And they allowed him to do the fist pumping, which is completely crazy. So we're expected to believe Crooks did the following all by himself without an insider's help. Flew a drone over the Pennsylvania fairgrounds and got aerial footage of the rally layouts on the day of the event, including 2 hours before Trump took the stage. Got a rangefinder through security. Well, he got more than a rangefinder. He got his AR-15 through security. Evaded law enforcement officers from several different states, local and federal agencies. Somehow climbed up on a roof with his rifle, 450 away from Trump. Bear crawled to the perfect vantage point. His bystanders alerted police and was still able to take 8 shots at Trump. Parked a vehicle full of explosives near the Trump rally, even though there is no online search history of Crooks researching how to make at-home explosives. So where do you get those at-home made explosives if he didn't do any searching on how to do that? Crooks was able to walk around the premises after snipers took a photo of him looking suspicious. They should have shut that venue down and taken Trump off the stage. A sniper located in the second-story window was only 40 feet away from Crooks and didn't neutralize him. That's that open window that we spoke about before. And I'll guarantee you that if they did an analysis, there'd be gunshot residue in that room. Trump was still able to take the stage after Crooks was pegged as suspicious by Secret Service. They never would have allowed that. GOP Congressman Chip Roy asked Wray if any FBI agents expressed disappointment that Trump survived the assassination attempt. In 2015 and 2016, top FBI officials infamously texted about the insurance policy to make sure Trump was never elected or inaugurated as president, Chip Roy said, referring to Lisa Page and Peter Strzokes. I mean, all kinds of videos about Lisa Page and Peter Strzokes. He ended up getting his pension, by the way. No big surprise. Have any FBI agents texted, emailed, or expressed disappointment that Trump survived the assassination attempt, or otherwise editorialized about the assassination attempt? Chip Roy asked Wray. Wray said at least one FBI official has expressed disappointment that Trump wasn't killed by the gunman. That individual has been referred to our inspector's division, Wray said. Why wouldn't he have been taken off the FBI force at that exact time? Why wasn't that person fired? Question mark. Watch. This clip plays for 5 minutes and 37 seconds. It's when Ray's being questioned, so let's have a listen.
When did you last speak with President Biden?
I don't have the exact date, but it's been certainly since the shooting.
So you have spoken to the president since the assassination attempt on President Trump's life?
Yes, sir.
And what was the mental state of the president?
We had a perfectly professional conversation.
And are you? Do you have any scheduled briefings of the president upcoming?
Not at the moment, specifically scheduled. No.
In 2016 and 2015, top FBI officials infamously texted about, quote, their insurance policy to make sure Trump was never elected or inaugurated as president. Have any FBI agents texted, emailed, or expressed disappointment that Trump survived the assassination attempt or otherwise editorialized about the assassination attempt?
I don't know about any agents. There have been at least two instances, I think, or one instance of an individual who posted something that I consider outrageous and totally inappropriate and unacceptable. And that individual has been referred to our inspection division, which is the arm, our sort of internal affairs investigatory arm that does the disciplinary process.
Okay. Will you report back to this committee any other incidents?
I'll do my best to share information with the committee.
You testified earlier that the FBI maintains high standards irrespective of so-called diversity efforts. Is it true that in December of 2016, former Director Comey lowered the passing standards for Phase 1, allowing an influx of previously unqualified applicants to continue in the hiring process who normally would have been stopped back in December of 2016?
Yeah, I can't speak to Director Comey's
what were the
changes.
standards?
I can tell you that at least since I've been director, changes that we have made to.
Well, we're standing on a specific question. Were standards changed? Phase 1, this is a specific part of the process. Were they changed in 2016?
Well, I don't recall if they were changed in 2016. Obviously, I started, as your question presupposes, after that. What I can tell you is, since that time, we have made changes to various phases of the process, but none of them, this is important, none of them lowered the standards. In fact, if anything, they actually increased.
Are you familiar with reporting that we have, and we've asked questions to you about this? I'm not sure the result of the questions that are to more quote easily accommodate a large pool of available applicants. FBI special agent hiring standards have been relaxed and requirements measurably lowered. This, according to a group of former agents who have testified about this and written a report and submitted it to Congress. In addition, specifically, minority people with 20-year careers, one in particular, a minority served for more than 20 years. Wrote in this report and submitted it to Congress saying that these standards were in fact lowered and that in fact if you were hiring, you were moved off of hiring if you put quality above these kinds of DEI requirements. Do you reject this report? And do you have comments on this report?
I haven't read.
You're aware of the report.
I'm aware of the report. I know that I've read every detail of it, but I can tell you that the claim that we have lowered our standards to be less selective and less competitive is not accurate.
So do you believe these former agents are lying to Congress when they submit a report to Congress stipulating and suggesting otherwise? Or are you saying that they are lying?
I'm saying they're mistaken.
Okay, but they're affirmatively on the record. They're telling us and submitting a report to Congress saying that those facts are directly in contradicting what you're testifying here today. So I just want to be clear so we know we're saying that they are submitting evidence to our record to the contrary that you say is untruthful.
I encounter all the time when I travel around the country and have conversations with our agents, and one of the things I try to do is have meetings with some of the longer serving agents without executive management.
That's okay. My only question is
and my point here's
the implication is it's untruthful. So, but I need to move on. I got 1 minute left. Are you familiar with the case of Paulette Harlow? She's a 75-year-old elderly woman from Massachusetts with a debilitating medical condition. She was prosecuted for violating the FACE Act and sentenced to 2 years in prison. She has to go to Texas in 2 weeks. She was praying at an abortion clinic in Washington, D.C. The FBI interrogated and investigated her. Do you think it is appropriate for a 75-year-old woman who is praying at a clinic in D.C. to be put in prison for 2 years for that activity? Just a simple question. Do you think that's appropriate?
I'm not familiar with the specific case.
You're not familiar with that case. It's been significantly in the headlines, but you don't know how to comment on that case, that it's appropriate for a 75-year-old woman to be put in prison for 2 years for praying at a clinic.
Again, since I'm not familiar with the case, I don't want to start weighing in because I don't know all the facts. But what I can tell you is that when it comes to FACE Act enforcement and abortion-related violent extremism, I think one of the things that gets lost, and I appreciate the opportunity to clarify it, is that really since the Dobbs decision, actually, more of our abortion-related violent extremism investigations have focused on violence against pro-life facilities as opposed to the other way around. And we've had a number of investigations. We're using FACE Act resources and our JTTFs.
We're still waiting on responses on letters that we've sent indicating the data to the contrary, that there's been significant amount of efforts in targeting of people who are pro-life versus go to clinics, and that they've been prosecuted, like this case, a 75-year-old woman who is now going to jail in Texas for 2 years because she was praying at a clinic in Washington, D.C. And we've submitted questions on that, and I'd appreciate a response on it. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentlelady from.
Pretty crazy. There is no way Crooks acted alone. Who visited Thomas Crook's home before he attempted to assassinate President Trump? Mobile ad data analysis reveals someone who regularly visited Crook's Pennsylvania home also visited a building in D.C. near an FBI office. I actually spoke about that in one of the videos, I believe, yesterday. The Oversight Project identified 9 devices linked to IDs that were located at Crook's home and work within the last year. Someone who regularly visited Crook's home and work also visited a building in Washington, D.C., located in Gallery Place. This is the same vicinity of an FBI office on June 26, 2023, the Oversight Project said. Whose device is this? You can't make this stuff up, folks. And again, it's really important for people that aren't really gun enthusiasts or aren't familiar with many different types of guns. You're not going to mount a red dot on any kind of weapon that you're looking to do a long shot at. And the reason that is that it can't be controlled nearly as well as a scope can, especially a red dot with 0 magnification. I want you to take a look at an object 150 yards away, a human-sized object, or in Trump's case, a half a human-sized object, because half of him was behind the dais that he was in front of. You can hardly make that out as a person at 150 yards, let alone try to do a headshot. That headshot bullet, I believe, came from a sniper's weapon. And as stated in this clip, how is it that the Secret Service agents 40 feet away from him didn't neutralize him? Have a look at it. Let me know what you think. I think he was taken out because he had to be silenced. I think he was an MK Ultra graduate, and I don't think he was the only shooter. They have the soundtrack. We've all heard it. They don't seem to sound as if though those first 8 shots are coming from the same location. I'll pass it along. Let me know what you think. And thanks for listening.